Welcome to NXT Review for November 14th, 2018. Well, did I care for wrestling tonight on NXT? Outside of the main event with Hanson and Kyle O'Reilly to determine who gets the advantage at War Games, wrestling wasn't all that important for this episode, for this go-home show. What got me very intrigued was TakeOver, the build, the hype-up, the promo packages, and everything else in between. Between Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and Velveteen Dream. I mean, these two matches are marquee matches. Which one's better than the other? I don't know. But I really kind of feel as if, once again, the World Heavyweight title in NXT is being put on the back burner, even though Velveteen Dream and Tommaso Ciampa is a fucking great matchup just in itself. If you haven't seen the package video for this promo, for this matchup, hyping you up for this match, you need to check it out on this NXT episode for November 14th of 2018 episode. Because this whole promo is outstanding. It gets you hyped up and it hits to the point of what to expect for this match. You expect to see gold between Velveteen Dream and Tommaso Ciampa. But on the other hand, of months of building, months and actually fucking years of storyline build. A year and a half, almost 2 years in the making. We have another bridge to the storyline of the Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa saga. Now introducing someone else to the family of the storylines. Aleister Black. Why? Because he was the World Heavyweight Champion at the time. He was in the way of Johnny Gargano accomplishing his dream and taking over Tommaso Ciampa and winning the World Heavyweight title at the same time. So, kind of makes you think to yourself, was it all an accident in the first place by Johnny Gargano? Or was it all just a load of bullshit and it was done on purpose? I think they ought to go with the idea it was done on purpose, leading to an eventual thing where it opens up the story that Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa's whole operandi was a ruse. It was to help them elevate their careers on NXT and eventually become the main event and the main focal point of NXT altogether. This storyline I came up with is still a possibility they could bring to light. If you look at this, you see what's going on. Johnny Gargano made the attack, not Tommaso Ciampa, the champion, the guy who's defending his belt, who has two men to worry about. Instead of him being the guy to do it, it was Johnny Gargano the whole time. Johnny Gargano comes in the middle of the match, initially when Tommaso Ciampa ain't the champion, Aleister Black is, and fucks him out of the title. Whether it was by accident or done on purpose, he still screwed him over. But in reality, let's be real, guys. They should go along with the idea of bringing it to light that Johnny Gargano purposely screwed Aleister Black out of the picture, out of the world title, and then tried to take him out permanently so he wouldn't come into the world title match. And bringing it to the idea that Tommaso Ciampa had something to do with it as well. Me personally, guys, I think that would be a hell of a fucking storyline. It would relate to some of what we were seeing unfold earlier this year. And on top of it, guys, it saying to all of us that we were played with the whole time with this storyline. That Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano never really hated each other at the end of the day. So basically taking storyline to storyline. And what I mean is playing a storyline into a storyline. So people, basically Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa was playing a storyline within each other to create a real storyline that was already created by the storyline writers. What a fucking mind blower. I honestly think that would be awesome. And then at the end of the story, Aleister Black is beaten. Johnny Gargano beats him this coming Saturday. And then we see Johnny Gargano revealing to the whole world, which Tommaso Ciampa, and Tommaso Ciampa helps Johnny Gargano win the match this Saturday. Wouldn't it be fucking awesome? Johnny Gargano, we have Tommaso Ciampa and Velveteen Dream have their match earlier during the night. Okay? Let's say they have their match first. Not the first match of the night. But let's say we get to have Johnny Gargano or Tommaso Ciampa defend his title like third match into the show. Okay, let's just say that because we all know the War Games matchup is going to be the main event because key point of the TakeOver title is War Games. So of course that's going to be the main event. Not Johnny Gargano's match and not Tommaso Ciampa defending the world title against Velveteen Dream. So count those two as not even having a shot at being the main event of this pay-per-view, which is perfectly fine because the Undisputed Era being in the main event against the four other great opponents such as Hanson, Rowe, and Pete Dunne and Ricochet is an awesome match in itself, even if these two matches weren't on the card altogether, so it doesn't really matter. It basically is in the same realm as these other two matches I'm talking about, but it has more intrigue as a story. It could go in so many more different twists and turns to us, besides just being a normal, everyday storyline that Johnny Gargano went apestick and decided at this point to go ahead and fuck over Aleister Black in the process so he could get a shot at Tommaso Ciampa, but we extended even more by making it where Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano never really hated each other after all. It was all a ruse, it was all a play on the audience, and you guys are suckers. I think that's a great storyline. And how I would do it is, Tommaso Ciampa defends his title first, retains it, and then Johnny Gargano goes in his match with Aleister Black. And we don't have a finish. No. We don't really have a finish. Excuse if what I said, if I said Johnny Gargano should win. No. I don't think Johnny Gargano should win. Consider this kind of like a preview predictions video mixed in with my NXT review. I honestly think Aleister Black gets fucked over by Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. We get a disqualification. Everyone's scratching their heads. The audience going ahead and doing the same thing. The announcers going, I don't understand what just happened. These two men were beating the hell out of each other the entire year from 2017 all the way up to 2018. And throughout most of 2018, that's all they did was kill each other and hate on each other. We have Candice LeRae come out. She puts her foot on Aleister Black's chest, laid out on a mat. And they all three of them stand in the middle of the ring with their hands raised high. Now, I understand that's not the closing of the show, but who gives a shit? We could get a little bit of talk going on before the War Games matchup and actually get some kind of, like, stunned reaction by the announcers. And leaving us all question, what the fuck did we just see? I honestly think that would be fantastic. I honestly think that would be completely mind-boggling. Hey, I just went ahead and I got played over by a bunch of fucking dumbasses trying to build a storyline, and they built their own storyline within the real story that they were doing. Wow, what a mind fuck that would be. You ever seen Terminator Genesis? Probably one of the worst fucking Terminator movies ever assembled out of all of them. Maybe Terminator 3 tops it because it just was straight up fucking insane. But this is probably... Terminator Genesis probably was the worst if you follow the Terminator franchise. You get the Terminator storyline and it goes following the same storyline, but then it's changed just like that. Why? Because later on in the timeline, Kyle Reese actually has the ability to have a childhood. Unlike in the original Terminator movie, he says he was born after the war was created. Instead, he was a child growing up to be an adult, a teenager, and then it was supposed to happen for him. And this was all altered and changed on account of Skynet being able to take the form of a human being and transferring himself, or his somewhat virus disease, into John Connor, altering every kind of storyline ever assembled in the entire Terminator franchise. So you're basically getting a complete mindfuck overload of changes that weren't really originally there. This situation is pretty much the same deal. We got a bunch of shit that was going on, storyline, timeline following this, timeline following that. Johnny Gargano trying to put up the good fight, trying to overcome Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa always fucking him over every chance he got. But at the end of the day, they came together behind the scenes without nobody knowing about it, and it was all a ruse. They're all trying to benefit each other by being the main event. Help elevate their game. They didn't care who was the world champion as long as one of them was. And as long as both of them were in the main event together for a while. And then it would all come back full circle once again, where they ended up in the main event. And they both decide, let's take this matchup, our rivalry, our competition, to a whole new fucking level. Let's take it to Hell in a Cell. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see their it'd be their fourth encounter. They've had 2 major street fights. Last man standing. They haven't done Hell in a Cell not one time in NXT. And I have to admit, for a pay-per-view weekend at WrestleMania, that would be the fucking gold mine winner right there. They need to have that happen. And they need to do something completely, and I mean completely, mind-boggling to all the people at home and the people there at this event. Because I'll be honest with you, a turnaround going 360 all the way back to DIY together again, when in reality they never were separated. They just played us all for suckers. That's it. Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane were hyped up for their 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm really worried about Shayna Baszler losing this title. I honestly don't see her retaining it. I don't know why. I have that gut feeling that's going to happen. And I think it's for good reason why it's not going to happen. I think she's being moved to the main roster. If she is, she's got a shot at being something big. She's going to probably bring those 2 other female MMA fighters with her to unite or start building towards a storyline of the 4 horsemen of MMA against the 4 horsemen of the WWE. So I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Let's see what else happened. Maya Yim versus Bianca Belair. That match was pretty decent. Nice, solid matchup between both women. I enjoyed watching that. Lacey Evans, she went ahead and she just had one-on-one match with enhancement talent, trying to enhance her character a bit, which was pretty nice. Matt Riddle, he's actually going ahead and already got a match scheduled against Cassius Ohno one-on-one next week, so they're probably going to have this at the pre-show where it's going to be taped for the NXT regular show that's going to be shown on TV or on the WWE Network the next week after the next week or what have you. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm half dead. You try talking for 8 fucking hours on a phone saying the same repetitive bullshit and see how you turn out. I'm burnt, man. I'm doing these fucking reviews because I enjoy doing them, but they don't come across very good. I understand that. I probably sound very boring to you guys. Very monotone, very fucked up. Sound like I'm on drugs, which I'm not. Or on alcohol. But I'm totally sober, actually. So that's pretty much all I have to say on that. The main event, Hanson versus Kyle O'Reilly. Very solid matchup. Enjoyed it very much. There was a bit of interference, and at the end, I was a bit worried. Not the finish to the match, and I mean after the match ended. Pete Dunne looked like he was hurt. He looked like he was grabbing his knee, and he looked like he was in pain. I don't know if he was selling something or making his team look like they were at a disadvantage. I hope it's not a true injury and it's just a fixed storyline injury that they're doing to make it seem more enhanced that the Pete Dunne's team with Ricochet and the War Raiders are in a disadvantage going in altogether already, with the Undisputed Era winning this matchup and getting the advantage even more for their War Games matchup. I hope we don't have a serious injury on our hands. That's all I have to say on that. Because if we have to have another replacement on a November pay-per-view weekend like we had with Survivor Series, holy fucking shit, has there been some fucking changes done to Survivor Series. Since we're talking about it, it's all rolled into a whole weekend deal. Daniel Bryan won the WWE Championship last night. I didn't watch the match, didn't watch the show, nothing like that. I haven't watched a Raw SmackDown episode, I think, since after Super Showdown. Not one episode. Why? You guys already know the reason why. The show absolutely sucks on both ends. Raw and SmackDown. I'm sorry. Daniel Bryan, though, won. He became a heel, low blowed to AJ Styles. For what? I don't know. I didn't watch the show, so I don't know what fucking thing that's going on. But it seemed, I do listen to JD from New York 206's reviews to keep up with some of the storylines that are going on. And it just seemed like he was forced into doing it, and that's basically it. So he's a heel as a world champion. I'm happy he's world champion and he gets a shot at Brock Lesnar. But honestly, I was kind of looking forward to the AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar 2 matchup, because last year, that was probably Brock Lesnar's best match. And that was because he was competing against AJ Styles. So I don't know how Daniel Bryan is going to match up to AJ Styles' ability to wrestle against Brock Lesnar. I mean, if Daniel Bryan was the same size as Brock Lesnar, I mean, with Daniel Bryan's wrestling ability, I mean, we would have a lot to look forward to. Probably even a little more than AJ Styles. The only reason why I don't think that this matchup is even a good idea is because of their size difference. I mean, AJ Styles is more a flip-flying kind of guy. Daniel Bryan's a more mat technician wrestler. He can't even do the high-flying maneuvers he used to do because he's more prone to injury with concussions. So he's better off staying at the mat and doing what Kurt Angle does. I mean, if you had Kurt Angle, World WWE Universal Champion, going up against Daniel Bryan for the WWE Champion for Raw versus SmackDown World Champions on both shows, that I would be okay with, because Kurt Angle's a little bit more the same size as Daniel Bryan, and they're both mat wrestling technicians, and Daniel Bryan's Daniel Bryan's technician wrestling reminds me a lot of Chris Benoit. I mean, whether you guys like Chris Benoit or not because of what he did at the end of his life is, your whole deal, and I respect that, because what he did was absolute shit. But wrestling ability-wise, Chris Benoit was probably one of the greatest technician wrestlers on the planet, alongside with Kurt Angle. I mean, if you never watched 2003 Royal Rumble, where they competed over the WWE Championship, you're missing a lot. I mean, that was an outstanding matchup. And it wasn't even the fucking main event. And that's because of the Royal Rumble, of course. But the match was awesome. And I definitely see the same style wrestling going on if you had Kurt Angle as Universal Champion against Daniel Bryan as World Champion. And if we would have something like that, I'd be okay with that. Brock Lesnar, though, totally different beast in itself. Reason being is, I mean, he's 6'5", almost 300 pounds. Daniel Bryan's only 6 foot, with being a little over 200 something pounds. He's like 225 or something. I mean, he's a great wrestler, but he ain't got no chance against Brock Lesnar. No chance. Am I excited to see the match? Yeah. But if Brock goes full on what he normally does in the ring, it's not going to be believable. Daniel Bryan is not going to have a shot in hell doing anything. They might as well have Daniel Bryan get his brains kicked in. Because one, they haven't built him up enough to make him even believable. Which JD from New York 206 said that, so I have to give him credit where credit is due. He has a big point on that subject. If you never watched the SmackDown review, which was uploaded yesterday, watch it on his YouTube channel. But that is definitely a big, big thing. But bottom line is, this matchup, if they were the same height and whatnot, I would be all for it. But because of the fact Daniel Bryan's such a smaller guy compared to Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar being such a bigger man weight-wise, it's just not going to work out in Daniel Bryan's favor. No matter how good Daniel Bryan is as an in-ring competitor. So, I mean, that's all I have to say on that. Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, though, is also another match they changed around on Survivor Series. That matchup I'm actually looking forward to, regardless of Becky Lynch not being able to compete. Now, my personal opinion is this. I honestly think that Becky Lynch should have competed anyway. They should have put a face guard on her face, because that's just a pussy-ass thing to do. I've seen Trish Stratus, who is nothing wrestling-wise compared to Becky Lynch. Yes, people, Becky Lynch is a superior wrestler than Trish Stratus. Bar none. And she put a freaking face mask on her fucking face so that she could continue to wrestle with a broken nose. They can't do that with Becky Lynch? Come on. Give me a fucking break. This was just a ploy reason to go ahead and give Charlotte the opportunity to go up against Ronda Rousey. That's all this was. Because of the mishap Nia Jax did, they looked at it as, well, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Why should we give Becky Lynch the shot at facing a big name like Ronda Rousey and not give it to Charlotte? And the reason why they probably didn't pass the title back to Charlotte is because people are getting sick and tired of seeing Charlotte as the WWE Women's Champion on either brands. So they said, okay, we better pump the brakes a little bit, give the fans what they want, and they gave it to Becky Lynch and kept her champion. But eventually, don't worry, people, she's going to lose the fucking Women's Championship anyway before WrestleMania comes and goes. That I can guarantee you will happen. Honestly, I would have went along with the idea of making Becky Lynch still compete, have her have the face mask on, and have her go against Ronda Rousey and lose. Now hear me out. We were to have Ronda Rousey beat Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch then goes on to TLC. She defends her women's championship. She loses the belt there to Charlotte. Okay, don't get all mad and all topsy-turvy on me here. Hear what I gotta say before you flip. If you're flipping out right now while you listen to the video, don't. Because I'm gonna explain something to you. Alright? Becky Lynch loses the title. Okay, fine. Becky Lynch goes ahead, moves on to the Royal Rumble, works her way back to the world title picture in the women's division. She wins. She should be the one that wins it, not anyone else. I better not see Charlotte in this fucking Royal Rumble. She better be the fucking women's champion going in, because I do not want to see Charlotte win. She doesn't need to do nothing. I got something special planned for her for WrestleMania, my storyline booking. We go ahead, we have Becky Lynch win. Then we have Charlotte and Charlotte and Ronda Rousey both appear in the ring at the same time. Becky Lynch goes ahead and says, I don't know which one of you I want to face. I lost to you at Survivor Series, and I lost my world championship to you at TLC. Decisions. And then you leave it for a whole long storyline till you're about 1 month or a month and a half away from WrestleMania, and then you finally give her decision on who she wants to face. It's Ronda Rousey, and Asuka gets the shot against Charlotte, and Asuka wins. Asuka wins this time at the WrestleMania 35 pay-per-view and revenges her loss that she should have never lost in the first place. And wins the women's championship and gets her ass, Asuka, back on her winning ways that she used to be and make her serious again like she was at the time that made her important. That's what they need to do with the SmackDown Women's Championship. And for the Raw Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey goes up against Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch wins. Ronda Rousey loses. You guys might be saying to me, why would you do that, Bruce? Why would you want Becky Lynch to beat Ronda Rousey at all? Real simple. The real match that should have happened was having two undefeated wrestlers, of course Ronda Rousey being that female, and Asuka being the undefeated female, and us getting Ronda Rousey versus Asuka one-on-one for a world championship in the women's division. Now, they could have done that at this coming Survivor Series, of course, and make them both be champions on either brand, respectively. Or, they could have made Ronda Rousey never win the title at all. Won the Royal Rumble coming up this year. And then Ronda Rousey going up against Asuka, who's undefeated, while Ronda Rousey is undefeated. And stick with the storyline that she wasn't there to get an advantage or be played favoritism to just because she was a mixed martial artist fighter. Now, if they would have stuck to their guns with that whole thing that they were saying, things would be a lot better. But anyway, guys, that's all I really have to say on this entire subject. I will not be giving you guys previews and prediction videos, at least, because I'm burnt out from all the shit I do. I will be giving you guys, though, a late night review Saturday for NXT War Games. And then I will also provide you Sunday night's review on the Survivor Series event. God help us all. Hope it's good wrestling, because the storyline building was absolute trash, based on what I've heard from other people on the YouTube community. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to close this show out. You hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you on it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead, chill, relax. Got to get back to work again. God almighty help me. And have a great night, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this review. Some of my preview prediction kind of stuff going on with the storylines of developing. A little bit of my futuristic or fantasizing booking that I have going on as well. Leave your comments and opinions about that as well, please. I'd like to know what you guys think of my storyline ideas. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get off of this this review and give you guys some time to watch it and enjoy whatever. Anyway, I'm just babbling on here. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great night. Bye.